culinarians. Today we're going to talk about knife cuts. Whenever you set up your station, okay, you got your cutting board, I got the knife I'm going to use, I got my steel out here. Today I'm going to use a potato peeler, should be in your knife kit. I got a little bucket of water here. Whenever you're working with potatoes, as soon as you peel your potatoes, you got to put them in water. If you don't put them in water, they're going to turn brown on you, and it's going to jeopardize the quality of the potato. So first thing we're going to do is peel your potatoes. What you do is you're going to get this potato. I'm going to peel it up here. What I'm doing is when I set up my workstation, I have a little trash bucket here. Okay, I have this trash bucket on my workstation. If it gets full, I'll take it over to the trash can and empty it. One thing you do not want to do while you're working in the kitchen is have a trash can right next to you. One of those big trash cans in the kitchen. You don't want it sitting right next to you. Because if you're peeling this potato and you're peeling it into a trash can, do you really want to eat something that was in the trash can? So that's why whenever you're working on your station, you should always have a little trash bucket here. Okay? Trash bucket's full, you go and empty it, and you're good to go. Alright, so I got my potatoes peeled. On your Moodle site, you should see the pages for your knife cuts. We're going to do the julienne, the bâtonnet, the brunoise, and the small dice cut. We're going to do those 4 cuts today. The julienne, bâtonnet, brunoise, and small dice. So if you get these sheets, print them out, or look on your Moodle site, or I'll have some here at the school. Pull those out, we're going to do those 4 cuts. Those 4 cuts are cuts you're going to be responsible for this chapter. When you go to take your test will be 2 parts. First part is a written part for this chapter. Second is your knife skills. You're going to have to do the 4 cuts, okay? When I do the 4 cuts, I'll put them up at the top of my cutting board here. When you're ready, show me your 4 cuts, all right? For this exercise, you're going to need your little tool here. This little ruler has different cuts on here. If you look on here, it has your julienne and your bâtonnet cuts right on here, so you know how big they are. Same with your brunoise and small dice. You're going to have all those cuts on here. So you're going to use this to help measure yourself as you do these cuts initially. One of the key parts about doing your cuts is consistency. You want to be consistent with your cuts. So if you're making a soup or a stew, or you're doing all kinds of saute work, you want to make sure the consistency of these cuts are as best as possible. Because if you're making a soup and you put these cuts into the soup, you want them cooking at the same amount of time. If you have some big carrots, some small carrots, they're going to cook at different times. Big potatoes, small potatoes are going to cook at different times. That way if someone goes to eat your soup, they're going to bite into maybe a raw carrot and then maybe a real mushy carrot because they're cooking at 2 different times. So consistency helps with the cook time, plus it looks a lot better. You know, if you're working on something and you put all this work into making this great dish, you want to make sure the product looks the same. Okay? So I got my little measuring tool here, I got my knife, I got a potato here. On the Moodle site, or if it's not on the Moodle site, you can't access it on the Moodle site, you can go to LibGuides. If you look at your syllabus, on the syllabus it shows where the LibGuides are on the front page of the school website. Go down to LibGuides. Once you get on LibGuides, you go to culinary, and once you go to culinary, you'll see where it has all the videos. You click on the videos, and I have a video posted from another chef doing the knife cuts. He's going to walk through. It's about a 15-minute video where he walks through and shows you how to do the proper cuts. So if you watch his video, you watch my video, it should give you a good respect on what you have to do with these knife cuts. Okay. First thing, for your knife cuts, you want to make sure you square off your cutting board. Make sure it's straight in front of you. Make sure it's nice and even, straight across, straight on the sides. because you're going to use your cutting board to help measure to get the exact cuts. So the first cut I'm going to make, I got the knife, or I got the potato right in front of me. I'm going to get right over the top of the potato. Don't be afraid to get right on top of the potato. If you notice the tip of my knife is right on the cutting board, I'm going to just push the knife down. Now these potatoes have a lot of starch, okay? Don't try to grab that knife, that potato, and pull it off, because what's going to happen is you're going to slice your hand open. Use something else to try to get that potato off. I'm going to cut the ends off here. Okay. Now I'm going to use my cutting board, because I got a straight cut there. I'm going to use the straight edge of the cutting board here. Now I'm going to make my first cut. So I want to square off this potato. Drop it down. Make my next cut. Notice I'm not afraid to get right over the top of it. I got the tip of my knife right on the board. Just drop it straight down. Keep turning the potato. Got the tip straight down. Boom. Nice cut here. Okay. Now that I got the potato squared off, okay, I'm going to go ahead and make planks. Okay, first I'm going to make a plank. The first cut we're going to do here is a julienne. With the julienne, we're going to get the brunoise cut. So I'm going to make the planks. Now keep in mind, we're doing julienne, which is 1 inch by 1 inch by about 2 inches. Okay? So I got about 1/4 inch. I double check my paper there. I look on here. I look on my ruler. Find, I'm sorry, 1/8 of an inch. I measure it on here. Make sure it's 1/8 of an inch. Okay? It's a little bit too thick, so I'm going to have to go thinner. So I want that 1/8 of an inch. So I got my 1/8 of an inch. And then I'm going to make my julienne. Julienne is 1/8 of an inch by 1/8 of an inch by about 2 inches. So I'm going to make my julienne cuts here. Notice I'm not afraid to get right over the top of that potato. So I got my julienne cuts there. Okay. Then I'm going to do my brunoise cuts, which is 1/8 by 1/8 by 1/8. So I'm going to do my plank. Now to make sure I'm on the right thickness, I'm going to take my little measuring thing, and as it's a plank, see how I go through that? It goes straight through. That tells me I got the right thickness. I got 1/8. Fits right through perfectly. If it got stuck on there, like this first one I did was a little too thick, it won't go through there, okay? So this one, I look on here, I got my julienne, it goes through real easily. So I got my plank. I'm going to make my julienne cuts. Julienne cuts here. Keep that 1/8 by 1/8 by 1/8. Now the reason why I want to show you how to do these brunoise cuts is later on in the semester, we're going to be making some consomme. Once we make consomme, The garnish for the consomme is going to be a brunoise cut carrot. So I got my juliennes all lined up here. I'm going to do my brunoise cut and straighten this stuff out here. So 1/8 by 1/8 by 1/8. Those are my brunoise cuts. Okay. So I got my julienne, I got my brunoise. Next is the bâtonnet. I'm going to do the bâtonnet cut. If you're a little bit nervous about cutting up your potato, and you think, well, the thing's going to roll around on me, if you want to make the first cut, straighten it out. Get right on top of it. Make that first cut straight down. Drop the potato. Now it's flat. Now it's not going to roll anymore. Okay. So make my next cut. Square this potato off just like I did the other one. So I'm just make a cut. Drop it over. Make a cut. Drop it over. I'm going to cut off the ends. Now, if you work on this at home, you're going to have a lot of scraps left over. Okay, all these scraps left over, cut them up to kind of a uniform size, boil them off, and you got mashed potatoes. Okay, so you got mashed potatoes for dinner tonight. All kinds of stuff you can do with the leftover potatoes. So now I got my my potato squared off here. Then I'm going to go for the bâtonnet cut, which is a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 2 inches. So I'm going to do the same thing with the plank. It's a little bit off, so I'm going to square this just a bit here. Do a 1/4 inch. Okay, went right through. I'm good to go on that. See how I put my knife down when I'm finished using my knife, or wasn't using it? I put it right on my cutting board. Don't leave your cutting board or your knife halfway off your cutting board or like that. Someone's going to come by and knock it. Someone's going to get hurt. So where you're not using your knife, flat surface, either on your cutting board or just on the table. So I'm going to make my 1/4 inch plank. 1/4 inch planks done. Now I'm going to use, make this into my bâtonnet. Take it off, so I'm going to square this off just a little bit here. 1/4 inch. Got my 1/4 inch cuts there for my bâtonnet. I'm going to do one more here. 1/4 inch cut. 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch, about 2 inches. Got my bâtonnets there. Now after the bâtonnets, turn to the next page. You're gonna do your small dice. Small dice, 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch. Same thing, I'm gonna do my bâtonnet cut. Straighten this out just a little bit here. My 1/4 inch. My 1/4 inch here, cuts. I'm going to turn these into my small dice. Straighten these out. 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, a 1/4 inch. It's your small dice. Can be used for soup, salads, whatever you want to use it for. So So these are the 4 cuts you'll be expected to do. Okay, your julienne, your brunoise, your batang, and your small dice. Okay? Make sure you use this as your guide as you're working. Okay, this is a good tool. Make sure you put it through the little notches there and make sure you got the right thing. Last thing you want to do is get all these things cut up and you didn't put it through here and you realize they're too big or too small. So check this out first thing. Okay? Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.